Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm Gavin Courtney.
And thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, it's another beautiful morning.
Yeah.
Nice and breezy this morning, I think.
Yes, it is. Definitely nice to step outdoors and take advantage of all the wind that's blowing, especially since we were told that we'd be expecting some rains very soon. So
Yeah.
soak up the sun while you can.
Yeah, for sure. And, speaking of rain, like right before the break, Marlene and I were talking a little bit about the effects of Hurricane Ida, which is still, of course, affecting several parts of the United States. Of course, it made landfall a few days ago in Louisiana as a Category 4 storm and did cause a lot of damage in the southern parts of the United States. But the storm has still been moving upwards. And if you've been following some of the international news, you'll see that areas on the northeast coast, particularly New York and New Jersey, are still feeling a lot of effects. And it's a reminder, that we are in the hurricane season and these sorts of things are going to be expected.
Yeah.
So we wish everybody who's dealing with all of the effects of Ida the very best. But it's scary to think about, all that could happen.
Yeah, no, it's a very persistent storm, and I think, as especially in the south of the United States, in Louisiana, they're trying to one, fully assess the damage. Two, try to get power back running. It still is a really critical time for them. I think I read a report saying that there are a lot of casualties that come after a storm. More so than during the storm, and it's from everything from issues with debris, flooding, and even carbon monoxide poisoning for people who try to use generators because they have no power.
Yes, and another thing in particular, which is affecting all of the areas, is of course the flood waters. And it's also a reminder for us here because even without a big storm, we do have several flood-prone areas throughout the country.
Yeah.
As the years have gone by, we've been starting to see more severe flooding in particularly some urban areas. And it's important to note that flood water is very dangerous, not only because it carries very large, debris and things which could be dangerous, but it also contains things like raw sewage, in some cases chemicals, if it's gone by any facilities or like medical facilities with medical waste. So it's a reminder for us here as well to, whenever there is a flood warning, to take that very seriously because the damage from the water is one thing, but there's a whole lot of other risks that people become exposed to.
Yeah. And looking at some of the things taking place locally, yesterday was a really sad day as we saw the passing of 9-year-old Jamira McCoy. Of course, we had reported earlier or the day before that he had been able to successfully come out of his surgery, but unfortunately he succumbed to the complications of the shooting that he was a victim of. And so he is the second death from that one shooting incident in Unitedville. And it is such a heartbreaking thing to consider that a child of this age has just become, just for lack of a better term, collateral damage for the ongoing violence that we have seen across the country. And I know we talk about it so often just in Belize City and there's the south side state of emergency, but we can see where it's been dispersed in other parts of the country as well.
Yes, absolutely, and I recall us talking about this on Tuesday's show when we were still hoping that he would pull through, and just talking about the tragedy of the incident was one thing, but it really puts it into perspective when you put his age, when you think about his age, 9 years old. Is really, you're almost at a loss for words when you think about A, that the tragedy happened in the first place, but B, what his family and loved ones must be going through to have lost someone in this way is really, really tragic and unfortunate. We do want to wish, of course, the family, friends and loved ones sincere condolences. You know, it's a very difficult time of all affected, you know, because that situation involved, you know, it wasn't just him, so.
Yeah, it was also an 18-year-old, which is also really young. And, you know, it was interesting to see the approach that the Minister of Home Affairs took yesterday. I think I'd said earlier this week, we've seen state of emergencies before. This would be the first state of emergency under this administration. And, you know, it is important to note that this particular administration, when they were in opposition, were very much against the state of emergency. So I was interested to see what they would do differently, because it is clear, and I think we can all agree, that the state of emergency is just a quick fix to the crime situation, calm things down, but it's more the long-term efforts that can really be able to help us in mitigating the situation with crime and violence. So his approach in being able to speak directly to those who have been confined for 30 days was interesting. And some of the young men were very vocal, speaking about what they feel is a target against, they feel like they're being targeted, you know, saying that they're not involved in any crimes. But, you know, to see where it will go from here is the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that this sort of dialogue that's going place has the potential to create a really big impact. And it is, of course, it's not necessarily that site, you know, and we're playing the clip right now. It's sort of an unusual sight to see that sort of direct engagement between not only the minister, but there are several presidents, like the mayor of the city, and people to have this sort of an engagement in this type of forum to really air what are the concerns on both sides. It's super interesting, and hopefully that after greater understanding, that, you know, there will be an improvement in the violence, and that this won't, or that the government won't see that this will be necessary, because of course states of emergency are or should be used in only very extraordinary circumstances. You know that certain constitutional rights are suspended, so it really is an extreme remedy, if you want. But hopefully that the point of dialogue is a good starting point for an eventual solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that state of emergency is going to proceed, and we'll see what attempts are made to be able to engage, but also ensure that they can enforce the laws that are in place, and hopefully quell things down in Belize City, because it is very clear, and we reported last night, that when it comes to the COVID-19 situation, we are in a very serious spot. Belize City is now officially being considered an area of community spread. And if we go back to early days of COVID-19, there was this classification that was made. There was a close contact case. There was an imported case. So, you know, you used to be able to kind of trace back where people got their COVID-19 infection from. And once it reaches the point of community spread, it means basically that you won't know the origin of how someone contracted COVID-19. So, yeah, as of yesterday, that's what we're looking at. And we've been seeing the numbers and the indicators in Belize City for a while.
For sure. And as you're seeing on the screen, yesterday there were 140 new confirmed cases, and bringing the tally of total active cases to just over 1,100. And of course, the idea of community spread should put everybody on greater alert, especially considering the confirmation of the presence of several variants of COVID in Belize, particularly the Delta variant, which we know is much more contagious and has a tendency to cause much more serious complications in those who contract it. So it's always, or we can never remind you enough, that A, you should get vaccinated or go to your nearest site if you are eligible, and B, even if you are vaccinated, you have to continue maintaining all of the protocols, such as mask wearing, distance, keeping your physical distance from persons of at least 6 feet, and everything that we've been saying since the beginning of last year. But it's still very, very relevant today.
I think what's interesting is that they're asking the business community to kind of support in the efforts, which is cutting down on very large workspaces, having everybody in at once, whether they're going to go back to some kind of hybrid function of some people working at home, ensuring that they are following mandates within the business itself. And so these are all things that they're hoping are going to help us calm down the situation that we're seeing COVID-19. But I do, of course, as always, pay keen attention to the level of hospitalization and those who have passed away. And we reported 3 more deaths yesterday. So it really drives the point home that COVID-19 is probably, for the majority of people, going to be mild. But it does not mean that everybody's going to be able to survive it. And at this point in time, where we're seeing different age ranges being affected, we can't say it's just going to be your 90-year-old grandfather. It can be people in their 30s, as we have reported, and we're seeing people of all different ethnicities. So it's just a gamble that you take, because you don't know if you're going to be a mild case, a severe case that requires hospitalization, or if it will cost you your life. Absolutely.
And of course, as I was talking about earlier with the vaccinations, we are, of course, it's encouraging to see the rollout of vaccinations, particularly for the 12 and over population. There was a pretty big uptake. I think it was yesterday or the day before, there were reported over 11,000 persons having received the first dose of Pfizer. Mm-hmm. So that is, of course, very encouraging as we see the numbers grow. And given the way how COVID is just spreading internationally, the likelihood is that even if we don't contract it, persons are going to come into contact with with COVID-19 in some way, shape, or form, unless you never leave your house ever. But given that there's always a level of risk every time you leave your house to do something, whether it's go to a business, go to the bank, go on public transportation, the risk of coming into contact with COVID-19 is very high at this point, no matter where you go. Yeah. And with that in mind, I think it's a reminder of, or you should use the opportunity to say, well, based on this level of risk, do you want to go into that vaccinated or unvaccinated, knowing what we know? And the science is showing, and the hospitalizations are showing, that persons who are unvaccinated have a much higher likelihood of getting a serious case or possibly passing away.
That's right.
So we do want to encourage you, go out. If you are not and you're eligible, do go out and get to your nearest vaccination site and get the COVID-19 vaccine.
All right, and we got to get moving into our show for today. So let's shift gears and talk about some motivation to get you started. And that means it's time for our Eye Opener. And today's Eye Opener goes like this. Input from experts is valuable, but our sense of the truth is ultimately the most important. To a certain degree, we rely on other people's accounts of reality to inform us of the nature of the universe. For example, we can't all be molecular physicists, but we can benefit from taking their findings to heart. In the same way, we often look to teachers and various leaders to tell us about the path to enlightenment and the nature of the realm spirit. While this input from experts is undeniably valuable, our own sense of the truth is ultimately the most important piece in processing the information we take in from external sources. This does not mean that we discount the information we receive from outside sources. It simply means that we're vigilant enough to question it before we decide whether or not we agree with it. All the information we receive is useful in the process of helping us make up our own minds. As we allow ourselves to sit with the things we learn, measuring them alongside our own inner sense of the truth and our own experiences, we find that making up our minds is a joyful process of integration that grows us into stronger, smarter, more engaged human beings.
Well, that was a good segue from the vaccine, right?
Yeah,
into that eye-opener. Because, of course, that's a really relevant conversation that's been going on for the past several months, especially in relation to the issue of vaccine hesitancy. And I think that the important thing from the eye-opener to take away is the part that was talking about not to discount information as that from the outside. And there's no problem with, well, ultimately one will have to make one's decision based on the judgment, but it's about getting to that point from a very informed and perspective and the best way possible.
Yeah.
And listening to experts or people who have a lot of experience in the field, I think is a great way to go. And especially when you're trying to make a decision, look at the information that you do, and certain things can be measured objectively, depending. Not even, it doesn't matter, how you feel about certain things.
Yeah.
There are some things which are some sorts of evidence, or some which is really objective or can be measured in numbers and something, and you have to take that into account as well. So, use your best judgment, and you should be fine.
Yeah, I think for me, it stems back to something that is absolutely crucial, which is kind of working on your own critical thinking skills. By nature, I know for me, I'm very curious, and I tend to question things a lot. And I recall it being a challenge in school, for example, because you were told to just do what your parents did, or what your parents said, or your teachers said. And it's interesting when you put that into context. If we're raised in that way, then we're expected to become adults who should question whatever information is relayed to them by anyone who claims to be an expert. So I think that it's something that you have to develop if you've never had the practice. But it is also really important because you have to learn to trust your own judgment. And you'll be able to hear multiple sides on one issue, but be able to formulate your opinion based on you and not based on what someone has told you to think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that getting to that point can sometimes be difficult, particularly because of what you talked about in the way that we're raised, and especially when you're not to question, especially if it's coming from an authority figure.
Yeah.
And one of the things, when I think about things like that, something that annoys me is that whenever I hear, let's say if it's something that I think, if it's not based on anything sort of objective or something, but there's a sort of like a rule or policy or something in place, and the reason, and when you question it, the answer that you get is, well, rules are rules. And that really annoys me, because I'm like, the rules have to exist for a reason, and if you can't justify their existence, then why should you follow them in the first place? So that sort of sense of a questioning, I think, is healthy. But at the end of the day, look at the data that you do have before you, and and make your own judgment.
All right. So that's our eye opener for this morning, and now we shift gears to find out what our weather is going to be like. And we have Catherine Cumberbatch on the line. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Marvin and Marlene. Good morning.
How are you?
I am okay. I'm okay. Not going to complain about anything. Just giving thanks. That's all.
All right. I'm with you on that. Now let's talk about our weather today. It is a beautiful morning. Is it going to stay this way?
Yes, for the rest of the day, it will stay that way. General fair weather will prevail, and then late tonight into tomorrow, we expect an increase in moisture and instability to set in. Okay. So for today, we are going for mostly sunny skies. The shower activity will be isolated. And as I said, tonight and tomorrow, skies will become cloudy with a few outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms over most areas of the country, but more so along the coast. The winds will come out of the east at 10 to 20 knots, and the sea state will be moderate. And for the outlook for Friday and Friday night is for cloudy to overcast skies, with some outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms over most areas, and then increasing significantly on Friday night. And as it pertains to the tropical weather, look, all eyes is on a small area of low pressure over the northeast Nicaragua, and it has a very low chance of becoming a tropical depression over the next few days. However, as the system crosses over on Nicaragua, portion of the low circulation could move over the Gulf of Honduras on Friday. But regardless if it moves or not, heavy rainfalls are possible across portions of Central America and the Yucatan Peninsula during the weekend.
Yeah.
We at the National Meteorological Service will continue to closely monitor the system. And besides from Hurricane Larry out in the Atlantic, no other tropical cyclone formation is expected during the next 48 hours. So for the weekend, starting tomorrow, we expect to receive a good amount of showers and thunderstorms affecting the country.
Yeah. It'll be countrywide?
Yes, it will be countrywide, starting along the coast and then spreading over most areas.
Okay.
I think the national the hydrological unit they already have a flood warning out already.
Okay.
Yes, so we expect some rains for this weekend.
So it's still it's still a very low chance of development, right?
Yes, it has a very low chance of developing, and by interacting with land, it makes it even more.
Okay.
No, and it is projected that probably when it gets out into the
Gulf
of Mexico, there could be, but all indications that the wind shear at the upper levels could tear it apart, and we don't expect any significant development of this system besides from being a rain producer.
Okay. All right. So what about our temperatures for today?
Okay, yes. The high temperatures today, it will be very warm today. Along the coast, we're going for 91 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 96 inland, and 84 in the hills.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that update, Catherine.
Okay, you're welcome, Marlene and Gavin. And you all too, stay safe and have a great day.
You too. Okay.
All right, bye.
There you go.
Yep.
I know a lot of people have been monitoring this disturbance because it had a projection right towards us, but the probability has remained low. And as our forecaster, Catherine Cumberbatch, just assured us, it still is a very low probability of developing into anything more than just a wet weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's good news and bad news. Not so much outdoor activities that you can do, but we don't have to worry about facing a storm.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, you know, and we started off the show talking about Hurricane Ida, so you know, it's good that we have confirmed, at least in this instance, that we're not going to have to deal with something like that.
Yeah. All right. But we got to get moving into our show for today.
Yep, and we've got a lot of interesting conversations lined up. In the beginning of our show, we are going to be speaking with Belize Bank, and we're going to get an update from them about the launch of their eCash platform. As you know, that launched a few weeks ago. Several businesses the technology is compatible with several businesses. You can use it. So we're going to get an update on how it's been working. And if you have some questions about it, maybe we can answer those too.
All right. The second part of our show, the agriculture industry is launching a matching grant fund. And so basically, this is a really innovative way of being able to offer much needed resources to those in the sector, but it does mean that you have to match the equal amount of funds. We're going to find out the details from the CEO in the Ministry of Economic Development, and also talk to representatives from the project itself about who can apply, how you apply, and what to expect.
And finally, we're going to hear from the Ministry of Rural Transformation, and they are going to be having a mental health forum. And we're going to be learning all about that in our third and final conversation for this morning.
All right, so that's what we have in store for you this morning. We are going to go ahead and take a break. But before we go, we have a birthday shout out, and we are saying happy birthday to
Melanie Middleton. So Melanie, we hope that you have a really happy birthday. So from all of us here at Channel 5 and Open Your Eyes, we wish you many more. Have a great day and happy birthday once again. All right. But with that, we are going to be taking a break. And when we come back, we are going to be joined by the representatives from the Belize Bank. So please stay tuned.
Are you a teacher or public sector employee who is thinking of owning your new home? Get the keys to your new home with Belize Bank's all-inclusive mortgage, the best financing option in Belize for your new home purchase or construction. Inclusive of all mortgage-related fees, no down payment, affordable terms, amazingly low interest rates. Visit our nearest branch to speak to one of our financial advisors to discuss how you can be one step closer to owning your new home. Some conditions apply.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
How does the AstraZeneca vaccine work? The vaccine provides support to help your body develop immunity to the virus that causes COVID-19. The body is left with a supply of memory cells that will remember how to fight the virus. It takes a few weeks for the body to produce the antibodies after vaccination. How long does it take to build immunity after taking the first dose of the vaccine? There is protection 14 days after a person's first dose. However, that initial protection may decline over time, which is the reason why it is so important to get the second shot. How long after the first dose should one take the second dose? The second dose should be given between week 8 and week 12. Are there any deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine? There have been no deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Vaccines save lives. They remain the safest, most effective, and cost-effective medical tool developed. Increased uptake of the vaccine is the best way to stop this pandemic, save lives, and return to normalcy.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 5 Caribbean Media Awards for 2019 and 2020. Best Television News Item, Best Responsible Coverage of Children's Issues, Best Health Education Journalism, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with special mention by the jury in the Best Television News Item category.
And we're back. And if you're joining us right now, we're just getting our first conversation for this morning started. And as we mentioned before the break, we are going to be having a conversation all about Belize Bank's eCash platform. It launched a few weeks ago, and you might already know a little bit about it. But if you wanted some more info, joining us to discuss the platform, we have Agatha Ruta, who is the head of digital, retail, and corporate banking with the Belize Bank. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for joining us. This is, of course, super exciting based on the launch which happened a few weeks ago. So before we get into the platform, can you talk about how the launch went and how it's been going so far?
Yes, absolutely. You know, the launch, we wait for this moment to happen for a long time. We were doing a lot of testing of the platform to make sure that all of the flows that we have designed work well. And upon launch, we already within the first day had over 10,000 users. Right now, we are in the 3rd week after launch, and we have 33,000 users using the electronic money ecosystem.
Yeah.
So this is very uplifting, very encouraging.
Now, there was an extensive amount of groundwork done before you actually moved towards the launch. And I think it was looking at testing the platform, but also kind of getting people accustomed to the concept of using an electronic wallet. If you had to find the simplest way to explain to somebody what an electronic wallet is, how do you describe it?
Yes. So you see, this is your physical wallet transformed into your cell phone. So you can do exactly the same as with your physical wallet, but it's significantly better and more secure.
Yeah.
Right? Because imagine that you want to send money to somebody, right? You are in Orange Walk, you have a person in Dangriga, and you don't have a bank account. How you do that? You either need to buy a ticket, jump on the bus and go, right? Or you find somebody who happens to go to Dangriga as well and can help you. If you have a bank account, you can wire money to this person, but it also takes time, right? It takes up to 24 hours for this money to be credited. With digital wallet, it happens immediately. Within a couple of seconds, the transaction is credited to your recipient, and all you need to do is just to have a eCash in your smartphone and transfer money using the phone number of the person you wish to transfer money to.
Yeah, yeah.
I think like that. And then you also mentioned that it's more secure than using, your traditional wallet. And everybody, I think a concern, especially for people who haven't used a platform like this before, people are saying, well, is it safe? Will somebody come and hack my money or things like that? So can you talk a little bit about the security of the platform?
Absolutely. So when you have your phone, right, even if it's get lost or stolen, nothing will happen to the funds you have in your wallet. Because if your phone is not secured with the PIN number, for example, the application itself, the digital wallet is secured either with your biometrics, depending on what kind of the phone you have, or with the PIN number that it's known only to you, right? So nobody can compromise your wallet. So it's significantly better than with your physical wallet, right? If you lost your physical wallet, it's highly possible that you will never see it again, right?
Or you may get back the IDs, right?
Yes,
not the
if
cash.
somebody is nice, yes, no, not cash. But with a digital wallet, your funds are completely secured. Nothing will happen with your funds. So when you buy the new phone, right, then when you register again on the new phone to your digital wallet, your funds will be there.
Yeah. Now, I imagine that the reception is you're working on both ends of the spectrum. There are early uptakers who just want a cashless option, and there are others who ask questions like, well, where does the money come from, and where does the money go?
This is an excellent question, as electronic money is the ecosystem working in the same way as other financial services. You're transforming the physical cash into the electronic money ecosystem, right? So this is what's happening when we create the ecosystem. We as a bank, we put money into the electronic money ecosystem to allow people to transact with this money. And then when the merchants, as they are the ones actually generating sales using the electronic money with their customers, when they get their money to the digital wallet, they can then decide whatever they want to do, whether they want to keep the money in the ecosystem, they want to then transact with the other vendors, they want to cash out their wallet to their bank account and then decide whatever they need to do as normal, as regular.
And that's the key part. So even as merchants, if you are able to get, maybe I have a young trendy store and everybody's coming in with eCash and I have it accumulated in my electronic system, I can cash it out with the bank.
Yes, absolutely. So as you are a merchant, of course you need to have a ways to manage your finances, right? So you use eCash as the additional payment option. You have cash, you have cards, and you have eCash. And then with this payment method, you can do exactly the same as with the others, right? You can accumulate it in one bank account. You can accumulate them in the several bank accounts, however you wish to manage that.
And how have the merchants responded as well? So is it something that's widely available in several businesses right now?
Countrywide, right now we have around 750 registered merchants using and accepting eCash. So whenever you go, you stroll around, and when you see the blue sticker saying eCash accepted here, it means that you can walk in and the merchant will accept the eCash payment. Scanning you will be able to scan the QR code presented by the merchant.
Yeah, so you can go to the grocery store, buy groceries, and pay for it with eCash.
That's correct. That's correct. And it's extremely fast and easy. It takes around a couple of seconds to perform this transaction.
So let's talk about, since the launch, and I recall that day, everyone sending out the link, by the evening, you had accumulation of links on your phone for people inviting you to eCash. They were gunning to accumulate that $2 too, but
yes.
But since then, what's been the response so far?
Response is actually better and better, because right now we stabilize the platform significantly, and right now we have a feedback from our customers waiting for the next features, asking us what's next, what they will be able to use. As when you notice in the wallet, we have already a couple of features that right now are under development, so customers ask us when they will become available, which means that they are using the system and they are keen to use it even more.
And so you can not only use it to purchase, but I can use it to share money with other people.
Oh yes, these are
or pay my bills to other people.
Yes, these are actually the main two options, right, currently available. So you can send money to your friend, to your family, or to somebody who makes a little repairs at your house, for example. Or you can make purchases scanning the QR codes at merchants.
And the situation today, I think, is one that when you look at how people have been able to respond to the app, how do you get everyone else on board? Some people are still waiting a little bit longer, right?
Yes. You see, like you rightly said, you have the early adopters who are very tech savvy and keen to try. And then with the persons that still didn't have an opportunity to download, we have several initiatives to show them how easy it is. As the month of September is the celebration month in Belize, right now we launched the initiative for the customers, 100 customers who will spend a minimum of $200 scanning the QR codes in the month of September, will get $100 from eCash for the next purchases. So it's really worth to try.
Is that a good incentive?
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's another thing I imagine, especially like people who are slow to use it, they're probably wondering, is it user friendly? Like because sometimes technology for some people can be confusing, or they're not sure how to use it. So the app as well, it's pretty simple, right?
The app is extremely simple. This is what we worked on extremely hard, the user experience. So for the seamless experience from the customer perspective, we made sure that it works smoothly, and we walk you through when you start to use the app. So everything is extremely clear, what the next steps you need to take, what to do in the application. We have several instructions in the app itself as well. So you know how to cash in your wallet, for example, right? Which is the next very interesting topic, because if you do not have a bank account, how you cash in your wallet? Because the app is not only for the banked population, for people who already use the financial services. It's also for the unbanked population. And then for them to get the money into the wallet, they can use the same store who accepts eCash. You go with your physical cash and you say that you would like to cash in your wallet, and then the store will perform this transaction for you, transforming your physical cash into your digital wallet.
That was going to be my next question. How do you get the money onto your card? Because there are several options. You can link your debit card or you can link your bank account. But if I don't have a bank account or someone is too young to have a bank account, how do they get money on their wallet?
Yes. So you have three options, right? Like you rightly said, if you have a bank account, you can cash in your wallet from your bank account, whether it's from the Belize Bank account or any other financial institution in Belize. With the cards, not yet. So from the bank account. And then if you don't have one, like you rightly said, you are too young to have a bank account. Digital wallet can be used for young people 14 plus. Then you find this retail store who accepts cash in, and you can go with the physical cash and transform it to your electronic wallet, which then helps you to manage your personal finances. Because when you have cash, we all know it, right?
Oh,
you have cash, it comes and goes, and you have no idea what happened with it, right? And rarely people actually keep track record of their expenses. So with this solution, you know exactly where you spend your money and how much you spend, right? So at the end of the month, even on the weekly basis, I can do my little summary and say, okay, this is how much I spend on my breakfast. This is how much I spend on coffee. Maybe I also can put some money aside next month to be able to purchase something, right? So this is a great tool to manage your finances in the easy way, which is especially important for the young population, so they can learn how to do it.
Yeah. Now, some of the merchants that you have gotten on board, and I think it's really great to be able to talk about that. They're small vendors, the people who it's cash and cash only. They don't have a card system, so it's now e-wallet or eCash or cash.
Or cash.
What is it like getting vendors like that on board?
It's a hard work. We have an incredible team countrywide in all of the districts who does it already since April. We were onboarding a merchant and explaining them the process. They are very receptive because it's more secure for them. When you have the little kiosks, right, with fruits, with vegetables, with tacos up north, right, you carry a lot of cash. With eCash, the threat of any robbery is significantly reduced because all of your money is stored in your wallet and nobody can get there, even if somebody will compromise your phone.
And are there also sort of like support features? So if you have questions or something, you can maybe contact somebody over at the bank or whatever. Are those options also available?
Yes, in the application you are able to find all of the support contact details. Customers can WhatsApp us, can call us. We are available not only 8 to 5. We respond to our customers' queries until late evening and during the weekend as well. We do not leave anybody without a response, because this is incredibly important right now to make sure that people feel comfortable with it, and if something happens, we provide the immediate support to all of them, to individual customers as well as to the merchants.
Would you say that the response to eCash has exceeded the expectations that you originally thought?
Oh, definitely. As of course, we as a bankers, we prepared our business plan for the project. And during the 3 weeks we are already in, we exceeded the expectations we had for the year.
And why do you think that's so? What are people saying?
Well, you see, I think that Belizeans were already ready for the modern financial services. They just didn't have the tools. They didn't have anything that they could use. So when eCash was launched, everybody started to use it because this is how people do payments internationally, right? Worldwide. We have a lot of tourists, right, coming from the US, from Canada, and this is what they are used to, right? And Belizeans were already accustomed to these services, to these payment methods. And now we have eCash, so they can start to use it in Belize as well.
Nice.
And I'm thinking as well of, since the service is available countrywide, it could also be convenient for people who perhaps live in more remote areas, so that they don't have access to to go to the bank or something every so often because of where they live. So has that also been something which people have been taking advantage of,
Yes, yes, big time actually. When we started the project, one of the main objectives was the financial inclusion. As in Belize, in the city you see everybody swiping their cards, right? But it's not the reflection of the country. We have actually the minimum percentage of the card usage in Belize. So in the rural areas, especially down south, in PG, in Dangriga, we have extremely big segment of the customers right now, and the response from them is so incredible. Some of the merchants, they started to use eCash only and actually incentivize their own customers to use this payment method because it's easier for the merchant. You don't need to reconcile cash and coins. You have
it's in a digital system already.
Automated reconciliation straight away, so it saves time, it saves your resources. What we also work on right now is to give even more opportunities for the businesses. So soon, businesses, employers will be able to perform salaries, their payrolls, using digital wallet. So if you have your unbanked employees, you can do your payroll using digital wallet. Instead of the bank account, you provide the phone number and their payroll is processed immediately. They don't need to wait for Monday, right? If payroll was processed Friday, they have their funds available immediately, which also decreases the cost of the financial services. Because when people are paid with checks, they need to go to the store, cash out this check, which they need to pay for. So with this solution, their disposable income on the monthly basis will actually increase.
So we have some viewers who've sent in some questions already, and one person would like to know if the merchant will be charged a service fee or a commission when receiving payment via eCash.
So the merchants, they present the QR codes to the customers. So per transaction is a discount rate that merchant pays. The discount rate is significantly lower than the discount rate using the POS systems. And we also have a lot of initiatives and promotions to the merchants right now. So for the month of September, when merchants process more than 1,000 Belize dollars using the QR codes, we will give the entire discount rate paid back. Going forward, when you reach to the certain threshold of the QR code transactions, we will provide the cashback opportunity where the effective discount rate will be on the level of 1%.
Oh, nice. Now, Frankie wants to know, I'd like to know who are the agents who can put money in our account and if the website has a list of agents.
Yes. This is actually an extremely interesting topic. On our website, ecash.com, we have the map and the table with all of the retail stores accepting cash-ins and cash-outs and merchants performing the QR code transactions. So everybody can go right now to our website, search for the district, and they will see the entire list of all of the businesses transacting with eCash. Going forward, already by the middle of September, we will have all of it in the application. So in the app itself, you will have the location of all of your neighborhood merchants. So depending where you are, you will be able to see exactly where you can go to buy your lunch, who is accepting the cash-ins, where you can cash out, everything based in the application.
Very similar to how we purchase phone credit, or we used to purchase phone credit. You can go to the store and you know if that one supplies this particular service. Now, there's a difference between the types of wallet you can have too. I think there's a standard and there's an advanced. Can you explain that?
Yes, we have actually 3 levels of digital wallet for the individual customers.
Okay.
It's a standard wallet. So this is like the entry level of your wallet. If you are unbanked or you are the customer of any other financial institution in Belize, this is where you start. The registration process is extremely easy. We ask you a couple of very simple questions about your name, your birth date, and then you are in and you can start to use the system immediately. Then the next level of the wallet is the advanced. To get the advanced wallet, you need to go through the application process. In the application, you don't need to visit the bank at all. Our team reviews the information and approves the application. What is the difference between standard and advanced?
Yes.
The limits that you can use. We have a limit per transaction on the weekly and monthly basis. When you start, the limits are slightly lower. When you move to the advanced level, your limits increase. So you are able to send more money to your friends, to your family. You are able to make the purchases on the higher ticket size level.
Now, what would you say is the advantage? And I'm saying this is someone who's been cashless for many years. So what would you say is the advantage of using the e-wallet in today's society?
Speed and security. These are the main 2 factors which are the most important. Everybody right now is running everywhere, and you really do not have time to transform the physical cash to the other city or wait and refresh your bank account to see whether the funds were credited, right? With eCash, everything happens immediately. When you go to the store, it happens right now. If I transfer you money right now, you will see your transfers.
Oh, sure, you can show me how.
Okay, we can do that right now. So the speed of the transactions, the security of it, and then additionally, the significantly decreased cost of the financial services. Even if you have a bank account right now and you would like to wire money to somebody, you need to bear the cost of it, right? Depending on the bank, it between like $2 to $5 per transaction. With eCash, the cost of transferring money is significantly reduced.
Yeah, okay, that is a good incentive there, because usually you have to add in the bank transfer cost when you're considering what you're going to
Exactly.
pay.
And only when I'm sending you money as an individual, the sender pays a little fee. When I transact at merchants, user pays absolute zero. Customers do not pay any fees. In a second, we are enabling the bill payments from the application as well, and it will be totally free for all of the users as well.
Well, so no, well, I'm convinced now. Listening.
It doesn't require convincing, you know. It's so easy and convenient and user-friendly that really just download and try.
Yeah. So what's next?
So what's next? It's actually the couple of features that we already mentioned during our conversation. So it's the geolocation of the businesses in the app itself. So you don't need to go to the website. You can do everything within the eCash platform. Then the bill payments. So you really do not need to take your physical cash and stand in line to pay your bills or school tuitions. You will be able to do all of it from the level of eCash application. We already have over 180 payees who will be included in the bill payment option. Next is also the salary payments, which I mentioned. The employers will be able to perform the entire payroll and send the salaries to your eCash as well. We have a lot of features which we will be launching for the merchants as well. As we hear them out, we have a lot of feedback from them as well, and we will be tailoring the solutions so they can use it in their businesses. As Belizean market is different than the others, and we want to make sure that our solution is customized to the local needs, so everybody has what they need.
You know, I can imagine this being really great. In COVID, we've seen so many new entrepreneurs spring up, and they're doing business online. And you see where people are talking about online transfers to be able to get their money. There's a challenge in people making fake online transfer receipts. So this is a far more secure way for you to be able to do your business this way.
This is actually brilliant for that. Because in Belize, also, right, quite unique setup of the market. We don't have a lot of e-commerce websites. Our merchants love to sell using the social media platforms. So with eCash as a payment method, when customers search for the items, they communicate with the merchant using the WhatsApp, Messenger, or any other messaging platform. Merchant can then send the QR code via link to the customer. Customer clicks on the link. They are taken to the eCash application straight away. They confirm the transaction, and merchant receives the funds immediately. Even if the customer did it 8-9 p.m. From the comfort of their house, or during the weekend, merchant will receive payment immediately, and then just the delivery option.
And secure enough that they can see that they have received the funds from their buyer.
Exactly. And the customer is also comfortable because they see who is the merchant, what was the amount of the purchase. So they are able to communicate quickly and reconcile quickly between customer and merchant as well. Because you don't need to wait. It's not something that merchant sends the details on Friday and then customer tries to figure out what to do on Monday, right? The transaction already happened this Friday, and customer can receive the goods, the items immediately.
And you also mentioned the benefit of just having the record of all the different transactions that you've made. So are those are they stored, indefinitely, or can you
indefinitely?
See? Oh, okay. Well,
yes,
see.
indefinitely.
So you can see.
So even 3 years from now, you will be able to see all of the transactions that you performed right now. How much did you spend on your lunch? How much did you spend on your coffee? All of the transactions are stored indefinitely.
It's also great because you don't have to share your bank account information with people either, because the wallet number is tied to your phone number.
Yes. So the unique identifier of your wallet is the phone number. So when you send money from the digital wallet, I just need your phone number. I can type it, or if I have your number stored in my phone book, then I just go to my contacts and I choose your phone number, and I can send money.
All right.
I can also request money, right? So let's say we go for a lunch, right? And I cover the bill. Being with a bunch of friends, I can then request money to splitting the bill from them. They receive the notification. They just need to click accept, and I get my money back.
Much easier way to split the bill.
Exactly.
You can put the calculator in the app too, right? How to split a bill.
This is actually something that we work on as well. The calculator to split the bill based on the fixed amount or based on the percentages. So this will be launched together with the bill payments.
Group lunches are going to be so much more cordial.
Right.
Now, I just have one more question for me. Looking at it, the demographics of the people who have decided to use the app, what's that looking like?
We have around 70% of the customers with the age range between 18 and 40 years old. And we have 15% of customers below 17. Which is great, because this is exactly what we wanted to do in terms of the financial inclusion, right? To include young population in the financial services, so they can learn how to use it, so they can feel comfortable with it, and they can forget about cash to feel safe and secured when they go out with their friends.
And I love what you mentioned earlier about it being a great way to get a foundation in their own financial literacy, because they'll be able to keep track at such a young age.
Exactly.
And particularly in areas, like you had mentioned, the rural areas where people may not have as easy access to financial institutions or something, it's a huge benefit to have that, right in your pocket.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
All right, so the ongoing promotion is if you use your eCash wallet for purchases of 200 or more,
Yes.
the first 100 people,
Not first, random 100 people, which we will choose the October 1st, will get $100 to their eCash for the next purchases. We also will be launching the nice promotion next week, which will be around the cash-ins at the retail store.
Okay. Well, I think, Gavin, you're convinced now?
For sure. Well, I don't have any more questions about how it works. I just want to see it for myself now.
Fantastic.
We'll take the break to walk you through the process.
Yes,
Right?
more than happy.
All right. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Agatha?
I would like to encourage everybody, the individual users as well as merchants, to give a try. To contact us if you have any questions. Our team is available almost 24/7, as I think that this service proved that Belize is not only for the tourists, it's not only sun, the sea and sun, but it's also the fantastic market of the modern financial services. And I'm extremely proud of the team who is behind of this launch and of the customers who are using it. So big thank you to all of the customers who are using the eCash so far.
Okay. Well, Agatha, thanks for coming in this morning and sharing all about eCash. I'm sure that a lot of our viewers really appreciate it. And you've managed to convince at least one new customer. So thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much.
All right. And with that, we're going to be taking another short break, and we will be right back. So stay tuned.
Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
Stay safe and submit your sickness benefit claim form electronically. Follow these 4 steps. Step 1. Obtain your medical certificate. At consultation, the doctor certifies your days of illness and provides you with a medical certificate. Step 2. Fill out your sickness benefit form. Complete all the fields in parts 1 to 4 on the front page of the sickness benefit form. Step 3. Request your salaries record form. Contact your employer for your salaries record form. Step 4. Submit your sickness benefit claim form. Scan or take a clear picture of the sickness benefit form, salaries record, and proof of bank account. Email the documents to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz within 14 days. You will receive an email reply confirming receipt of your claim. After the submission of all documents, your claim is processed for payment to your account. For any COVID-related illnesses, contact the Ministry of Health for further guidance. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Good morning, sweetie. It's time for school.
Are you a teacher or public sector employee who is thinking of owning your new home? Get the keys to your new home with Belize Bank's all-inclusive mortgage, the best financing option in Belize for your new home purchase or construction. Inclusive of all mortgage-related fees, no down payment, affordable terms, amazingly low interest rates. Visit our nearest branch to speak to one of our financial advisors to discuss how you can be one step closer to owning your new home. Some conditions apply.
How does the AstraZeneca vaccine work? The vaccine provides support to help your body develop immunity to the virus that causes COVID-19. The body is left with a supply of memory cells that will remember how to fight the virus. It takes a few weeks for the body to produce the antibodies after vaccination. How long does it take to build immunity after taking the first dose of the vaccine? There is protection 14 days after a person's first dose. However, that initial protection may decline over time, which is the reason why it is so important to get the second shot. How long after the first dose should one take the second dose? The second dose should be given between week 8 and week 12. Are there any deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine? There have been no deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Vaccines save lives. They remain the safest, most effective, and cost-effective medical tool developed. Increased uptake of the vaccine is the best way to stop this pandemic, save lives, and return to normalcy.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
And we're back. And if you're joining us right now, we're just getting our second conversation for this morning started. And we are talking about a grant fund call for proposals in the agricultural industry. And here to talk all about that, we are joined by Dr. Osman Martinez, who is the CEO of the Ministry of Economic Development, as well as Neri Sams, who is Interim Program Manager from Resilient Rural Belize. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us. It's a great opportunity to get to learn all about this interesting initiative. So let's start by giving just a little bit of background and context as to how this call came about.
Okay, it's an agriculture initiative, and it has to do due to the changes that the farmers are experiencing, the drought, the intense rains and the flooding, and of course the assistance that they need to help them manage better their crops, use innovative methods, resilient practices, work as a group, because we know the effort of working as a group, the multiplier effect, and also to allow us to produce for local consumption for the tourism industry and all that. So this program helps the farmers from obtaining seeds all the way to marketing. Yes, and it does so in groups of farmers, formal groups or not formal groups. Right.
Let's talk about the matching grant formula that we've been seeing a lot more recently in different ministries, where oftentimes there is a grant released to people to be able to pursue a particular project or idea. This time around, you're asking for a financial or in-kind commitment. Explain it for us.
Well, this is a bit, the equation that is being used is a little bit different and I would say innovative. No? The reason is that we will be dealing with different farmers. It's not only one. And these are farmers that fall within the MSMEs, the micro, small, and medium size enterprises, which also you have to consider that they have different mentality.
Yeah.
They have different way of thinking. And at the same time, we're giving them the opportunity to have their own input, but not only input as to say, I like A, B, or C, but also as to have ownership in what we're doing. Many of times, governments have come up with very good ideas, but no one takes ownership. Why? Because they have never had the opportunity to invest. And so, in this case, this program has between 10 and 15% contribution from the beneficiaries, which will help them to have that ownership. What we are looking for is sustainable projects. We have many projects throughout the history of Belize, projects that are very good, but they have never been sustainable. And the question is it the government's fault or is it everyone's fault?
Yeah.
And at some point, all of us have to take responsibility.
Yeah. So it's the idea of getting the ownership of the project or concept that they're working with.
Correct.
I see you shaking your head here. Tell me about your experience, why this is important.
Correct. It starts from the design of the business plan.
Yeah.
A SWOT analysis is conducted with the members of the group, and we learn their strengths, weaknesses, any threats, and it's done in 3 areas: marketing, production, and the organizational structure. I know some of our POC members are keen that we not only invest in the production and equipments, but that the group know how to work together and what they are in it for in the long haul, right? And coming up with the contribution, it's their decision how they want to do that.
Yeah.
They can say, we will use from our fields the investments to contribute my 1,000 if that's what we need to contribute.
Yeah.
So far, we haven't had a group that has requested a loan, but we are also making that available by working with the credit unions. Should the farmer need a small loan to assist with their counterpart in terms of cash, then we support them with a letter and their business plan to the credit union or DFC or National Bank, so that then they can get that support.
Does the match for the funds have to be financial?
10% is cash and 5% is in-kind labor.
Okay.
That's for the larger formal groups.
Okay.
And the not formal groups, it's total 10%, 5 and 5.
Okay.
5% cash, 5% in-kind.
Yeah.
And when we do that, the farmers work with us as to how their interjection of funds will be presented.
Yeah.
So it's phased in. They don't have to have the full 10% when the business plan is signed or the agreement is signed.
Okay.
We work it with phase with them.
So you help them identify where they'll be able to get it from to be able to contribute towards a project.
Correct.
Oh, nice.
And may I add here, the most important part is, say for example, the program comes up to $100,000. 10% in kind would be $10,000. But if you have, say for example, 20 members within the association, then you end up dividing the 20 by 10, you know, which is just a small portion that each farmer will have. Now imagine small farmers owning 5-10 acres of land and having access to a good road, having access to a good storage facility, to irrigation system, to greenhouses. This on itself will actually be introducing science and technology, something that they won't be able to afford on their own. At the same time, the objective is to increase the yield, to reduce the operational costs, and at the same time to be able to compete with the quality of the product, you know, the appearance of the product, which is essential for the development of the agro producers. Normally, the agro producers in Belize have a competitor, a phenomenon which is contraband. Yeah, and that is a huge enemy, you know, for the development of the agro producers. And so it is important to understand that by them being able even to compete by eliminating contraband, because we can eliminate contraband with two main phases. One is quality of the product, and two with price. So for example, if the fuel is cheaper in Belize, why would you go over to Chetumal to fuel? You know? Right? So we don't need to enforce our borders. It's just a matter of being able to compete locally. And so this will give the farmers the opportunity to be able to, one, transport their, be able to bring out their product out of their farms. Because the farmers' road had been abandoned for many years. If you go to Nago Bank, Trio, Copen, San Carlos, I mean, the farmers actually had to make adjustments onto their vehicles. Their vehicles look like the monster trucks, you know, and this is not healthy for their economy, because every time they would go in and bring out, get their product out, they will also have to make a stop at the mechanic shop. Because that vehicle was never designed to be a monster truck. It was designed to be a regular vehicle.
You know, and let's just get some clarification there, because we hear very often where government representatives talk about fixing the sugar roads, but there are kind of like the main thoroughfares, but then you have the roads that are actually within your own property, which is hard to maintain.
Yes, I mean, I think it has the Ministry of Infrastructure, in this case, ministry that falls under the Minister Honorable Julius Espat and his CEO, Victor Espat. I believe they have done a fantastic job in helping to maintain these roads with limited resources. It is a challenge indeed, you know, to go on to the private roads. You know? These are no longer considered secondary, not even tertiary roads. These are actually private. Nonetheless, we need to have an enhanced mechanism to help our producers if we are serious about growing our economy and growing not only on nominal GDP, but on real GDP. And that, in effect, will have, it will increase will reduce the gap between the inequality of the distribution of wealth, reduce poverty, create employment. And so it has a domino effect once that investment is done.
And that was actually, that was gonna be my question, because we had earlier spoken a little bit about the sustainability and resilience element, but I was also interested to know that takes into account growth as well, right? So that eventually the farmers will be more empowered. And can you talk a little bit about that aspect, the growth and development of the rural that we hope to achieve by this?
Okay, so our program works with 8 commodities. We have 6 vegetables, 1 fruit, and honey. So a business plan can have 2 or 3 of these commodities. And it's important to work with the farmers with a planting schedule, because as we see with the onions, you can try and store the onion, and there has to be good communication so that we know what's the volume to be produced and when it will be ready. So we will facilitate that, and of course we work very closely with the Ministry of Agriculture, the extension officers, so that we know the farmers who are producing, and Kayo does produce onion, sweet pepper, tomato, everything like that, similar to Corozal. So there has to be this networking, communication to enable the farmers not to have this overproduction and then price going down. So we have to find a mechanism to really master that.
Or wastage,
or add value by processing. So if a group would like to add value, that's also, we can fund also that aspect for them.
This is also an area I know very clearly that you're trying to introduce climate resilient options for the agriculture sector. Now, my question is, are you also offering the technical expertise for this? Because, you know, whether it's changing climate, changing in weather patterns, it feels like the obstacles being thrown at the sector are unpredictable already.
Correct.
Well, yes, and the technical aspect will definitely be included. Actually, there is a component, you know, to help with technical assistance.
Correct.
In addition to that, I have the opportunity to work with the international funding institutions, the IFIs, and they are always willing to help us with consultants, consultants that will be paid by the IFIs. And I think this also brings a great opportunity to bring this technical assistance. One of the main elements on the success of the equation for any producer is that we need to acknowledge that we need to increase their human capital. And that is something that a component that the government has acknowledged. We will definitely take advantage of all the technical support that the IFIs are giving to us. The Ministry of Agriculture have a wealth of knowledge and huge high human capital, and we need to see how we can use them as well. No? In addition, we work along with the Ministry of Agriculture, but also with the Ministry of Infrastructure. Because they are the ones responsible to build this road. These roads have to be climate resilient. They have to have proper drainage, and they are the ones who will be overseeing the supervision. Why? Because at the end they will be the ones responsible to maintain these roads. So we work hand in hand with them, and I can tell you that the investment is not small. I mean, 1 mile of road is very expensive. It's between $200,000 to almost $400,000 Belize dollars per mile, and that depends on the area, no? It depends where if the materials that we need are nearby, then that reduces the cost. If not, we will have to transport that materials from a distance that it will cost us more.
Adds on transportation costs as well.
Yes.
So what are you hoping? I know right now it's kind of just an expression of interest phase. You're hoping people will come to you with ideas and pursue these particular funds. But what are you imagining are going to be some of the projects that will fit?
Okay, we already have identified 15 groups of farmers.
Okay.
Right? And we have already, through the Program Oversight Committee, approved 4 business plans. In the process of approving a couple more. So we need the farmers to come forward through the Ministry of Agriculture's offices, and we do have an extension officer assigned to each district. We have the form, they express interest, and we can also assist them to complete that proposal form, right? Then that is, the deadline to submit is the end of November. So we compile all that, and we will go through a screening, and 15 will be selected. And we anticipate that they can ask for anything from seed improvement to drainage and irrigation to cover structures to solar pumps to a facility to process fruits
to do value
added to marketing. So any aspect within that chain that the farmer needs assistance in any of the 8 commodities that we're dealing with.
Nice. Or even the cold storage, I think you had mentioned, right?
Yes.
Maybe we know the farmers can produce. What they need is to have a longer period of supplying the market. So once we can do a good practice of harvesting the proper way and then storing, that we believe can assist the farmers to then increase their income, and be able to use their funds in any other activity that they so choose. Yeah.
Based on perhaps what you're hearing from the farmers, is there perhaps one or two things in particular that perhaps is common and that they're talking about they need the most, or or are the needs more or less spread out evenly based on all the things that you kind of mentioned, from processing to seeds to roads, or is there more need in one area than the other?
It's would say like specialized. For example, with the hot pepper, because we would really like to help them. Presently, they're not practicing a nursery facility to raise their seedlings, so that we can see is a weakness that they have. They're starting already on the wrong foot with their seedlings. Most of them plant in slash and burn area, which is not a problem. However, the mechanization then is not possible, and putting in the drainage so that water can then leave the land when it rains torrentially. So improving the irrigation and drainage for majority is required. Some would like to have the structures because they want to produce this high quality sweet pepper. Some wants to know if there is a tomato variety that can be grown in this structure, and what does that mean, and what other practices they have to ensure, because sometimes you need pollination, otherwise you don't get any fruits. Right?
So these specific commodities were chosen based on what?
In the design, the Ministry of Agriculture had a long list, and we are told that they reduced to these 8 commodities as priority for the ministry.
Because they've had challenges, or because they have so much prospects?
Both.
Okay.
It is both, and we need to understand that yes, we can produce in Belize, but we will not be able to produce everything.
Yeah.
So the vegetables and fruits that are acclimatized to be produced in Belize and that have shown that our producers can produce. So we need to support those fields and support those farmers who are producing certain products. Economics teaches that every country it has to be specialized. And, we have comparative advantages in certain products while we have disadvantage on others. And I have from what I understand is that the 8 products that were selected were actually that criteria was used, where we have that comparative advantage.
Nice. Definitely honey. I know we've talked to some of the honey producers on World Bee Day, and there seems to be great promise in the area. I guess it's just getting people to overcome their fear of bees.
Yeah, because of the introduction of the Africanized one with European.
Yeah,
that's right.
And other areas. So we're talking about cabbage, carrots, hot pepper, onion,
sweet pepper, tomato, pineapple,
and then honey.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Also, in our in the RRB, we have technical support in climate agriculture. We have in marketing, and we have an officer responsible for the organizational component of the groups. So we provide all this assistance to all groups that we engage with.
Okay.
Right.
So what is the interest you're getting from the farmers at this point?
Yes, the farmers want us to help them, and we will have limited funds. So, yeah, that's one of the drawbacks. But if we do a very good job, then I'm sure CEO can more assistance.
Well, you'll have to find the funds if there's some great projects out there.
I was put in this pattern in public now.
Yeah, live on TV. So your answer here is?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that is, I believe the IFIs, in this case IFAD, which is an entity in Italy, along with Green Climate Fund, GCF, they are ready to help Belize. Our problem has been implementation. We have failed in implementing projects. So, for example, this project started back in 2018, Actually, it was signed in December of 2018, and the first disbursement came a few months after 2018. And practically, we are just getting the project on to run. And so we have 20 million US dollars that have been sitting there.
Yeah.
We need to pump that thing into the beneficiaries, which are the producers.
Yeah.
Pump it into the ecosystem that will help with the growth of GDP and real GDP, which is important. And it's a way to stimulate the economy.
And do we, when you talk about GDP growth and stimulation of the economy, do we, or how, how do I put it, percentage or of the economy as a whole does the sector then are we working with? How much do they contribute, and how much do we hope that or we project that they might?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Before I answer your question, allow me just to give you one piece of data which is very important. So IDB, which is the International Development Bank, Inter-American Development Bank, they did a study which shows that, for example, Belize have 98% of the businesses fall within the MSMEs, and 2% are considered large enterprises. And the government had focused on the 2%, and they have forgotten about the 98%. And this is not a problem that only Belize has, but it's a problem that during that study, they cite in Latin America and the Caribbean. And countries with a developing economy actually face the same problem. We forgot about the MSMEs. So this is a great opportunity now to see that the Briceño administration and through Plan Belize are promoting that we will invest within the MSMEs and support them. In my personal opinion, the MSMEs should be the backbone of Belize's economy. And so your question is, as Ms. Neri says, we actually have limited funds. The impact will be maybe between 3 to 5% of the MSMEs. We have around 44,000 businesses that fall within the MSMEs. Our impact will be maybe 25, 30 of them the most, no?
The most 30?
Yeah, the most 30. So it's very limited. But we are hoping that this is the start of great things in the future.
You noted earlier that the failure was implementation.
Yes.
What have you identified to be the cause, and how have you corrected that?
The process is a bit frustrating since the procurement processes are very long. I have had the privilege, and I'm blessed and honored that I have been able to have direct communication with the IFIs. And so the procurement process on the IFIs it takes quite some time. Then we have another problem that locally we also have a part of our procurement process that have to go through the Contractor General and the Ministry of Finance, which also takes some time, but that had improved significantly. And so we are making great steps. But that is just part of the problem. The other part of the problem is want to do it, have the interest to do it. Because at the end, we have to understand that we are here to serve the people. And if we are not serious about doing it, it won't be done. So even if a procurement process takes about 100 years, if we start it, then the 100 years will come to an end. But I have inherited some projects 3 projects, for example. One of them was very well on its way, road safety. But CABE, and, which is the Integral Security Program, and IFAD, which is the RRB. And between both of them, we have $100 million Belize dollars. And that those projects weren't moving any at all.
Yeah.
And CABE, for example, which is for the Integral Security Program, that program was developed in 2010. And 2015, it was signed, and the first disbursement came in. And that's a $60 million project, $60 million Belize dollars. And in 2018, $3.8 million were disbursed, of which up to when I came in to take over the office of the Ministry of Economic Development, only monies for salaries were used. So, so we have to identify what is the problem. But one of the problems is procurement process, and two, that we want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes projects like that become reliant on the drivers behind it. So this is, I'm glad that you're able to acknowledge where the failure to implement has taken place before, and that gives you an opportunity moving forward to be able to mitigate them early on. One of the things I know with this particular project is that you don't have to be a registered farmer in this area to apply. So how do I get involved? I mean, you have to have some level of expertise, right? I can't wake up today and say, I know how to grow tomatoes or pineapple.
Well, the registered part is the group.
Okay.
So you can have 8 different households, farmers in one area, and they do one thing common. They market together. So they are an informal group or a non-registered group. And we can work with those farmers.
Okay.
Their benefits are maximum 60,000 Belize dollars. Now, if you have a cooperative and you have 30 members, 17 members, the volume that we can support you with is up to 240,000 Belize dollars.
Okay.
Right? So the other important thing to that is the Ministry of Agriculture has registered majority of the farmers in the country. And if we come across any farmer that is not registered, we encourage them, or we start the process for them to be registered. And what that does is it provides us a lot of information that can be used for projections and for statistics and for any type of analysis that the country needs to do. So this BAMES data, actually our managing information system has that as the backbone. So if we get 10 members in a group, we determine if there are registered farmers by simply placing their name into the system, and we get all their information at one go once they're registered. If they're not, then we can request if they want to, and then help them to register, right? And then they would be a part of the entire BAMES, right? And any exercises, any benefits that can come to farmers, if you are registered, it brings that to you. If you're not registered, then you fall through the...
Well, even things like after storms, they know where to go and who to follow up with to see what happens.
And that has happened twice or 3 times.
With the
lately.
flood.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. So that's a key opportunity there too.
Correct.
So let's talk about where people go if they want to express interest.
Okay, it's at all the district agriculture offices in each district. We have left the proposal there. We have spoken with the district agriculture coordinator to record for us the interested farmer group. And we have extension officers who will then liaise with the farmer group, arrange meetings, and start assisting them to fill out the proposals. Right. So we will provide that assistance to do that.
You know, one point that I want to mention is when we fail to spend monies from the projects, we lose a golden opportunity because we fail to bring in fresh money into our economic system. And so actually we are still using monies from 2015, but for example, GCF, they have allocated $500 million US for developing nations. And when we fail to spend monies that had been given to us, that means that other developing nations will have the opportunity to take advantage of these monies. And so we will still have like old monies rather than
tied to other projects.
Rather than get new monies. And so, and before the IFIs, we actually have to increase our reputation, because report shows, a study shows that 99.9% of our projects have failed, meaning that they are always asking for extension. And sometimes the extension is not an option, which means that the projects will have to come to an end incompleted. And we would have to send money back.
Yeah.
You know, and that.
And then when you apply again, they think you don't really need it because you didn't use it last time.
We have to understand that we are dealing with people that are very good with numbers.
Yeah.
And so they will do evaluations for every 10 years. So if they were giving us, say for example, 10 million US every year, and our capacity of spending was only 5 million, then they will say, I will only give you 5 million, even if we would have submitted a proposal for the same 10 million.
Yeah.
And then when we ask why, they will say, well, the historical data shows that your capacity of spending is only 5 million.
Yeah.
So why should I give you more?
Yeah.
And this is where Belize have failed.
Because there are needs all over the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, and there are limited funds.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, you know, it is important to note that we are paying special attention. I know that with Minister Christopher Koyi and the Prime Minister, we are looking closely at the public sector investment programs, you know, and how the spendings are going, the different projects. So that is one thing that we want to assure the Belizean population, that we are working very hard to gain that confidence back from the IFIs.
Yeah. Right.
So I've said what we will invest in, but we can also not invest in purchasing the land for the farmers, or we will not invest in any environmental activity that can have a problem. So those are the two main, or pay a loan for the farmers group.
Yes.
3 things we can't do.
All
with
right.
the funds.
Definitely clarified there. Well, thank you both for coming in. And of course, we wish you the best of luck. Would love to hear about the projects that do follow through. And, you know, especially if you want to bring samples, even better. Right?
Of course. Allow me just to, I want to say thank you to the team at RRB, the administration,
Resilient Rural Belize.
Yes. The administrators, the technical and the extension officer. I think they are doing a fantastic job, and we have a huge challenge ahead of us, but I have my full confidence that this project will be successful.
All right.
And then last, Marlene, please.
Yes,
we have to encourage females, women to join the groups, and youth. We will be giving extra points if a group that is presented to us, as in women, and having youth ages 15 to 24.
Nice.
So they'll be getting more points.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in and giving us this update.
Thank you.
Thanks to you all.
We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about a special focus on mental health, a forum that's taking place today through the Ministry of Labor. Please stay tuned.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Hey son, how was your first day at sixth form?
Really cool. It was great to see my friends, and I really love my teachers.
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm sorry I wasn't there for your first day, but I'll be back from Corozal next week.
It's okay, Dad. I can't wait to see you. Oh, and please remember, I still have some books I need to purchase.
Ah, yes. Let me eCash you that right now. Money has been sent. I add a little extra cash just for you.
Whoa, Dad. Thanks. Got it.
You're welcome, sir.
Download the eCash app today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257. eCash, the future is here.
Bringing people together has always been SMART's mission and passion. That is why we are proud to have built a locally independent quality network from the ground up that spans the country with over 100 sites. We continue to add more affordable mobile data packages, broadband speeds, and voice services to meet your personal and business needs. SMART has set the standard of true competition with the most competitive prices on all services offered. We invite and welcome you to join the SMART family, where the value for your dollar matters. SMART will continue bringing new technologies, more affordable prices, network expansions, and people together. SMART, bringing people together.
Working off-site doesn't mean you have to be off your game. Studies have shown that simply adding a keyboard and mouse to your laptop increases productivity by 26%. Add a monitor, and you'll be 35% more productive. At Fulltech Systems, we have what you need to enhance your remote work or e-learning experience. With devices such as headsets, video conferencing monitors, webcams, keyboards, mice, docking stations, all with the brands you trust. Keep connected with collaboration tools like Microsoft 365 Suite and Kaspersky and perform efficiently no matter where you are. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
And we're back.
Yep, and we are just getting our third conversation for this morning started. And as we said before the break, we are talking all about a mental health forum which is being hosted by the Ministry of Rural Transformation. And joining us via Zoom to tell us all about this, we have Anne-Marie Thompson, who is the Labour Commissioner. Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Doing well, and thank you for coming in and sharing all about this. This is such a great initiative. Can you talk a little bit about how the idea for having a forum like this came about?
Well, thanks. And of course, we can't take all the credit. I have to thank our partners like PAHO, the Mental Health Association, our trade union colleagues, the Chamber, and other organizations that joined with us. Well, we know that mental health is an important aspect of health. If you're going to have good health, it means that you should have good mental health. And with COVID, we know that has brought on some stresses. When the Labor Department goes out into the field, we do so with the aim to protect labor. And we're expanding that to mean another aim to protect the mental health. And that is how it came about. We thought, how can we assist our workers, especially our public offices, those workers also on the front line? How can we help them? We hear of their stresses, we hear of their anxieties. So we reached out to our partners and we decided to have a mental health forum under the theme, let's talk mental health, let's protect mental health.
Yeah. Now this is, I mean, I was telling you jokingly during the break, we all need this. It has been a part of an underlying conversation that we're talking about our mental health and COVID-19, but we don't talk about it in the workplace and we don't acknowledge that it's taking place. You said you have, go ahead.
Yes, I think it's a best kept secret,
yeah.
And we want to thank the media and our partners for bringing it into the mainstream, because every 4 persons that gather, one of us is experiencing mental health issues or will experience mental health issues in our lifetimes. So it's very prevalent. It's just that, as we all know, there's a certain stigma that is attached. Nobody talks about, I am bipolar, I am schizophrenic, I have an eating disorder, I have a mental disorder, you know, but we're saying, let's talk, let's do something about it because we can overcome.
Yeah. You spoke of the specific public officers who will benefit from today's forum, and it will be online, so people can be able to access it for free, right?
Oh, definitely. When we began the discussions, we thought of having an in-person conference, but with COVID and being responsible and wanting to do the right thing, we moved it online. So it's open to the entire public. And I must give a special invitation to our parents and grandparents who are out there. We know that mental health cuts across all ages, including our children.
Yeah.
So today we have a representative from the Ministry of Education, a counselor, Ms. Young, who will be speaking about mental health as to how it affects our children.
And actually, that was going to be my next question, and we're actually displaying the graphic right now, showing some of the participants in some. So what sort of material is going to be covered during the forum? We just touched a little bit. So what more can we expect?
Well, it's going to be very interactive. It won't be a lecture. It's going to be interactive, and we have a good lineup of speakers. For instance, we have to look at the clinical aspects of mental health illnesses. What are the illnesses? How do we identify them? So we will have a doctor who is a psychiatrist, Dr. Martinez. She is assigned to Belize Medical Associates. We will have counselors. One of them is Amy Jex. She will speak about conflict resolution. We will have our own participants from the public service. We will be speaking about the employee assistance program that we give to public officers who are experiencing personal, family, or work issues. And of course, we will have a testimonial, because you see, mental health, it's really not a death sentence. Mental health illnesses can be treated, they can be reversed. So we want persons to know that, you know, we have the resources, and if you access them, there will be some normalcy. So we will have a testimonial. And of course, we will also, you know, the law cuts across every facet of our life. So we will have Chief Magistrate Sharon Fraser. We will have one of our partners from St. John's Credit Union. Financial management is key. A representative from the Social Security Board. So it's going to be dynamic, it's going to be interactive, and there is something in it for everyone. So even if you're not suffering from a mental health illness, you may know someone, and having the information is key so that we can protect the mental health of all our families and loved ones.
Nice. Now, looking at the partnerships that you have there, my question has to be, do you imagine moving beyond just having the conversation about mental health in this type of forum? Because one of the things, for example, you know, maybe getting the Social Security Board on board, talking about things like sick days that do include when you're in a mental health crisis. This has been a challenge, I know, for people who do have mental health illness, to be able to feel comfortable to say, I'm having a depressive episode, or my, you know, I'm struggling with my bipolar disease. So how do you move beyond just saying it exists amongst us, people are mentally unwell at times, to also ensuring that they're protected within our labor laws?
Well, you're correct, because when we treat with mental health, and remember, I am no expert, but when with it, we have to take a three-pronged approach. So the first thing we agree on is raising an awareness. So today we are starting the first of a series of conversations. It won't end today, we will continue. So let's raise it. The other aspect is to prevent mental illness, you know, and we can do so in our daily lives through different means. Something as simple as taking up a hobby, or doing exercise, or speaking. Yeah, so whatever we can do to prevent is very important.
Yeah.
And the other aspect is advocacy. So today we will be inviting trade unions, workers, employers. Let's look at how we can address mental health issues in the workplace.
Yeah.
For instance, are there policies? Can we put policies in place?
Yeah.
So it's a conversation we're going to have. If someone is continuously absent, instead of taking a disciplinary action, can we resort to putting in an intervention that may relate to mental health to address and to help that person? So that's the approach we want to do. And beyond that, no doubt we have to reach out to our medical facilities to provide quality mental health services. And one may ask, what is quality mental health services? Obviously, it starts with protecting the rights of those who access the services. Not because I'm schizophrenic, not because I am bipolar, I should be treated in a particular way.
Yeah.
I have labor rights, I have human rights. So it starts with providing quality service, respecting the rights of those who need it, in addition, making sure that service is equitable, efficient, effective, and timely.
The public service ministry also has, is it through public service or human development that they have the support services built in for public officers? Does that include mental health?
Well, it definitely does, because it has the Employee Assistance Program,
Yeah.
EAP. And many or I should say, other organizations have that program for their employees. This, in principle, is a confidential program, free of cost, where through the public service, or if it's individual companies through the HR departments, employees can confidentially go to someone and say, listen, can you help me with my personal problems, marital problems, problems at home, problems at the workplace? And they would more times than not offer counseling, refer that person to have counseling services. And so we are saying, if you have EAP, Employment Assistance Programs, or continue, why not promote it so that persons can get assistance?
Mm.
Yeah. And is there any? Well, I suppose this forum is targeted to be sort of general or covering mental health in a general way. Is there any sort of or is there any particular target or aim at the end of it, that you hope to achieve by the end of the forum?
Okay, well, as I said earlier, the theme is let's talk mental health. Let's protect mental health. So if the conversations continue, that in itself is a good thing, because we need to speak about it. And let's protect mental health. Today we have our partners. We have representatives from the Mental Health Association. Many persons don't know about that organization. So I'm hoping that, we will be free to contact our colleagues there if there are issues. Please contact the Mental Health Association. They can provide assistance. We also have the Ministry of Human Development. That ministry can be contacted for assistance. We have the National Drug Abuse Control Council. So today we will also be highlighting those agencies and those resources where we can contact for help, because we don't want anyone to suffer in silence. We want to help persons. Mental health is not a death sentence. There is no stigma to it. We could just turn to the right persons, the right organizations, access the resources to help us.
All right. So who can join in today?
Oh, the entire world. We are online. So please, we start at 9 o'clock and we end after 3.
Okay.
There will be different activities. We will have activities, we will have music. We have Jackie Castillo, please join in. And we have the different presenters, as I say, from the Social Security Board, the Chamber, the Public Service Union, St. John's Credit Union. So we have the Ministry of Education, we have a variety of speakers giving different perspectives. So there is something in it for everyone. We want our country to have, our citizens to have the best mental health. And we are very delighted to be able to work with our partners. Thanks to everyone to make it possible. We know that Mental Health Day is October 10th.
Yeah.
So we're actually early. So this, I think, is a good start. Please join us, everyone, for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, or for the entire program. There is something in it for you, your families, and your community.
That's right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And Mental Health Day is in October, but the World Day for Suicide Prevention is in September. And we know that very often we do have cases of suicide in this country. And if we take care of our mental health, we can prevent some of these deaths. So great initiative. We hope that you are flooded with participants, but more importantly, I hope that it gets the conversation going in the wider community.
Thank you. We hope so. So let's talk mental health. Let's protect mental health. And please join us today and do all we can. Thank you very much.
All right. And with that, we are going to go ahead and take our final break. And when we come back, we'll have our wrap up. So stay tuned.
At Belize Diagnostic Center, we offer FDA-approved PCR testing for COVID-19. Get your results as quickly as 1 hour. Don't risk getting exposed to COVID-19 by going elsewhere. We take appointments, or we can come to your home or office using our concierge service with no additional fees. We have 10 locations countrywide. Call or WhatsApp us at 613-TEST. That is 613-8378 to schedule your test today.
The TV you love is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV. Entertainment anytime, anywhere.
Imagine going through your entire day without the burden and risk of carrying cash on you. Belize's shift to digital wallets has begun with eCash. We can now skip the cash when collecting money or paying for our essentials, all while using a fast, easy, and secure platform. Simply add funds to your wallet via bank transfer or at an agent, and you're good to go. You will be able to make quick, easy payments simply by scanning QR codes. And best of all, it all happens just like that. Payments are as easy as clicking a link online or scanning a QR code. Download the eCash app from the Google Play and Apple App Store today and take your first step into a cashless lifestyle. The future is here with eCash. For more information, visit www.e-cash.com or contact us via WhatsApp at 613-0257 to find out more.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 5 Caribbean Media Awards for 2019 and 2020. Best Television News Item, Best Responsible Coverage of Children's Issues, Best Health Education Journalism, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with special mention by the jury in the Best Television News Item category.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
does the AstraZeneca vaccine work? The vaccine provides support to help your body develop immunity to the virus that causes COVID-19. The body is left with a supply of memory cells that will remember how to fight the virus. It takes a few weeks for the body to produce the antibodies after vaccination. How long does it take to build immunity after taking the first dose of the vaccine? There is protection 14 days after a person's first dose. However, that initial protection may decline over time, which is the reason why it is so important to get the second shot. How long after the first dose should one take the second dose? The second dose should be given between week 8 and week 12. Are there any deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine? There have been no deaths associated with the AstraZeneca vaccine. Vaccines save lives. They remain the safest, most effective, and cost-effective medical tool developed. Increased uptake of the vaccine is the best way to stop this pandemic, save lives, and return to normalcy.
And if you're joining us now, we are just getting our show wrapped up.
Yeah.
We want to say thank you to all our guests, but we do have a giveaway alert.
Okay,
right?
yeah, that was the sound of
Yeah.
giveaways, I guess. I don't know what's happening there, but yeah, we do have a giveaway alert. We were joined in the beginning of the show by Belize Bank representative talking about eCash.
Yep. And if you are listening to that segment, you might be able to answer the question which is in our giveaway. So so before we read out the question, let's just talk about the prize. And we are the winner is going to get $50 eCash courtesy from Belize Bank. So if you want $50, then you just have to answer this. The first person to give the correct answer to this question.
So before we read it, let's just be fair, right? So you got to get away from your television. You have to pull out your phone, get on your computer, get on your tablet, log on to Facebook, get to Open Your Eyes BZ on Facebook, and the first person to comment the correct answer under the live stream is going to be the winner of $50. Perfect for the weekend, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. So the question is, you need to list 2 ways that you can cash in your e-wallet, your digital wallet. So put 2 ways. If you have the app, maybe you might already know already, but be sure to list it in the comment section on our Facebook. And the first person who gets the correct answer is going to win $50.
That's right. Well, you know, we went through quite a bit this morning talking about the eCash, and I know the idea of a digital wallet was something so easy for many people to get used to, and then for others it was like, well, I don't quite understand.
Yep.
I had a friend that was explaining, she's like, but where does the money go?
Right?
Because it is, you know, and so for some of us who've been, you know, using PayPal and online and whatnot for so long, it's easy for you to get on board. But for others, it is going to take a bit more convincing and explanation. But it is so much safer, and it saves. If you hate going to the ATM, man, this is going to be perfect for you. I don't know any person who enjoys going to the ATM.
Yeah, and especially like if you don't live like near an ATM or you don't live near the bank or something like that. Or if you're a business owner or a merchant and you don't want to be handling all that cash, then it's also a great way for you. So once again, you can list 2 ways in which you can cash out or cash in your digital wallet through eCash, and you will be getting $50. So run over to the comment section.
That's right, $50. All right, we're going to tell you the winner in just a few, but we want to say thank you definitely, and they do have that giveaway going as well. So if you spend more than $200 using your eCash
during the month of September,
that you'll be eligible to win $100.
Yep, and so that's 100 people who are going to be selected at random. But of course, if you want to have your chances, then sign up for eCash if you don't have it already. And you could be eligible if you do spend over $200 in September. The winner will be announced on October 1st. The winners, sorry.
Yeah. So just look out for the new promotions that are coming. You can always get all this information on their website. But we also want to say thank you to the CEO from the Economic Development Ministry and also to the representative of Resilient Rural Belize. And it is a really interesting initiative that they have ongoing. They're offering grants, matching funds though, for the agricultural sector in specific commodity areas. And so they're working with registered and non-registered groups, but the opportunity to be able to access financing to improve upon what they're already producing is really a great one.
Absolutely. And our final guest, we were joined by the Labor Commissioner to talk all about the Ministry of Rural Transformation's Mental Health Forum. Of course, this is a very important topic, and it is open. The forum is open to the public. They'll be covering a whole lot of different topics related to mental health with a view to get a conversation going. The theme is to get people talking, so we definitely want people to increase their understanding about mental health issues and as well as find the correct resources if you are struggling or have any mental health issues for you or your loved one.
That's right. You know, so you can log on. You can do both ways. You can watch it on the live stream on their Facebook page, or you can actually join into the Zoom and be a participant. And the flyer was up earlier. There is a Zoom meeting link and also the password to get in. It is all day from 9 to 3 p.m., so you can join in when you have the time. But we do encourage you to be able to participate because there's so much we can learn. It is, Gavin, you know, I think in conversation with so many people, a lot of people are struggling right now, and we may not call it a mental health issue. We may not be able to put the proper words as to why things feel, you know, a bit tough right now. And it's not just looking at issues about the economy, but also just learning to cope through all the changes.
I know, and I definitely hope that people do take advantage of that forum because, you know, it is open to the public, so you can check it out. But we do have a winner.
We have a winner! You just won yourself $50 on your eCash.
Yep. And so we want to say congrats to Lloydia Johnston. You're a lucky winner, and you will be able, well, you are $50 richer now.
Somebody's going to be asking you to send one of those person-to-person requests right now.
But of course, if you want any more information about eCash, you can find it online. eCash does have its own website, but you can also get information from Belize Bank as well.
All right, but that's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to contact us, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com.
You can find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and Instagram at OIE Belize.
And remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your heart open.
We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
We must unite, our future's bright together.
inamulelua wagia balisinaya mosi wabilido aba sukube wagia mosi wagendulwa bule hali unta wedaye mosi wagendo bulwa bule hali wedaya.
Este es nuestro Belice, nuestro hogar y nuestra nación. Así que juntémonos como un solo pueblo y late con un solo corazón. Pongamos un fin a la violencia, a todo el odio, los rencores. Seamos iguales hermanos entre nosotros, por nuestra tierra Belice.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.